Hey everybody, it is Bridget here, standing in Bridget's healthy kitchen, wishing you a wonderful Sunday. If it's Sunday in your part of the world, let me know where you are joining me from. It is currently just ticked over 6 o'clock here in Sydney in the evening. We are hoping and wishing for some rain. It looks very threatening out there, and I heard there are other parts of Sydney and the greater Sydney area that has had rain, so we're hoping that whoever needs the rain gets the rain. It's really funny, you know, when you, as a kid I couldn't stand the rain, you know, it meant that I couldn't go outside and play, or it meant that, you know, one of my school trips was cancelled. And now as an adult, and having lived in a country that has been going through drought for such a long time, and watching the devastation from the bushfires of people's lives and homes and businesses and animals and losing of habitat, it is amazing every time now that I see a little notification pop up onto my phone, or I get informed from my smart display behind me saying that there's rain on the way. I am so grateful. I am so incredibly grateful. So fingers crossed we get some rain coming our way soon. But anyway, I'm sending rain from Melbourne. Thank you, Andrea. Please bring it, send it up here. We don't mind at all. Bring it all our way. We know that our friends in Canberra are still under high alert with the fires that are happening right throughout that region. And we were there just a couple of weeks ago doing a masterclass, and we know that some of those people that attended our class, they're all in danger as well. So we're sending our love, we're sending our best wishes. Oh, there she is. Georgie, she just joined us. Georgie just joined us, sending you lots of purple love. Purple rain. Can I send you purple rain? Georgina, can I send it to you and to the family down in Canberra? That would be awesome. But hey guys, I have got a pretty cool class today. Bit of fun. We've all been having some odd stuff happening, as you guys know. The last couple of days have been really weird. Well, they have in our house, that's for sure. But in saying that, oh my gosh, Georgina's just saying the fires are only 8 kilometers away. Oh, sending our best for you to be safe. My love, be safe. Thank you to Karen, who's joining us all the way from South Australia as well. So with all this sort of stuff that's going on, I feel like we're out of alignment. And let's line ourselves up. Just so I'm saying that I can hear thunder happening outside. We're gonna line ourselves up tonight with a class that is just ideal for this hot, sticky, humid weather that we're having. I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some frozen treats. Really, really simple. And of course, they're going to be sugar-free, they're going to be dairy-free, and they're going to be gluten-free, because that's how we do it in Bridget's Healthy Kitchen. So the recipes that I'm doing tonight, I'm doing a nice cream, or ice cream, nice cream, and I'm also going to be doing a sorbet. So when it comes to the first one, which is the nice cream, I'm using a base of bananas. So there's nothing really else to it. So if you are doing my 28-day meal plan, or stage 2 of our gut fast plan, then you want to stay away from this first treat. You can definitely have the second treat, all right? Just making sure you guys are on track. If you are doing the 28-day meal plan, there's nothing stopping you from having this healthy treat, but you just can't have it while you're on the meal plan, all right? So I've got you covered. You're going to have the second recipe coming along after that one. But, you know, for those of us who are not, for those of you who are not doing any of my 28-day meal plans, this little frozen treat is not only ideal because it is dairy-free, sugar-free, and gluten-free, it's great for kids too. If you really want to get them out of, you know, start to really take them out of being, you know, having all that sugar in their diet. This is a really nice, very easy way to do it, and everyone can benefit. So come on down to my bench. Let's get going. As I said, this is just such a cool little treat that we're doing today. So the first one, as I was saying, it actually starts with bananas. Now you will need one of these or a big food processor to make this recipe. Ideally a food processor. Stick blenders, you can do it. It's a little bit, just it takes a little bit more time and energy to do it. So the first one we're going to do, and I'm doing one portion for this. So I'm going to go over to my freezer, because in my freezer I've had my bananas stored. So when you see bananas on special, it's a really good idea, like if they're brown and nasty and rotten, it's a really good idea to buy them, peel them, put them into little plastic bags, and then keep them in the freezer, because then you're always only a couple minutes away from a really healthy alternative to sugar-filled, dairy-filled ice cream. So my bananas were really ripe. I always buy boxes of really brown bananas, like the browner the better, because you know when the bananas are really sweet, they're going to taste so much better as well when they're really, really ripe. So for one portion, you're going to need about 1.5 bananas, depending on the size. And what you want to do to your bananas, you don't want to throw them in here whole. because that's just going to be too much work. So what I'm going to do is just kind of cut them down into, I suppose, into coins. You don't have to be exact, but the smaller that you can get them, see how easy they are to cut. Even if they're rock solid, like frozen, they're still really, really easy to cut once they come out. And it's that texture from the bananas, you know, it's really, really soft. So those go in there, and like I said, you want around about 1.5 to 2 bananas, depending on the size. So you do that, they go in there. I'll keep that one for later. They go in there, and you put the lid on. It's this easy. And then, I'm going to bring my power closer to me. Here we go. You put the lid on. You guys can see. There you go. And give it a really good blend. Oh, but keep that part attached. That's a good idea. The reason why I like this machine is because I can pick it up and actually help it along the way by giving it a good shape. Now you will need for this as well, just to help you along your task, is you'll need a little plastic scraper, because what you want to do, you see how it's already coming together, is you want to scrape down, because it will go up the sides of your machine, and just sort of scrape it, as you know, bring it towards the blades. So have one of these handy, because that's the other instrument you're going to need. After that really quick little blend, is you have a really, really smooth, creamy consistency. Look at that. And because it's frozen, you've basically got ice cream, just like, well, nice cream. Let's call it banana nice cream, just like that. And because these bananas are so sweet, you could literally grab yourself a bowl. Let's put it in that bowl, because that's a cute little bowl. Grab yourself a bowl. Grab yourself a spoon. And just like that, after a couple of seconds, check it out. You have a wonderful ball of soft serve banana ice cream made just with bananas. Made just with bananas. You can now do things like add-ons. I've got some little coconut flakes, so you could like sprinkle these gorgeous little coconut flakes. They're so tasty. I love these guys so much. You can sprinkle coconut flakes over the top. There is nothing stopping you from also putting chocolate chips through it as well, which would be really, really nice. I have these that I found at the supermarket. They're called Frisp, and they're fruit crisps, and they're basically just dehydrated fruit. There's no sugar added to them. There's none of that. They come in flavors like banana, mango, and strawberry. Really great little snack for the kids, because it's literally just dehydrated fruit. And they're crunchy. So look at this, that's just a little banana. Really sweet, and then there's nothing stopping you from just crunch. Look at that, crunch it over the top, and you've got this wonderful little banana powder. We just added banana and coconut. It is so, like literally so fabulous. So that's one that you could do, 100%, right? Just plain old bananas, or add some toppings if you want to, up to you. I'll show you another thing you can do with the bananas. So we're going to put our little thing back in there. All of these, oh, I nearly forgot to cut them. Really important, we make them smaller. It just means that our machine's not going to have to work so hard. So that's why we cut them up into those little coins, or little rounds. So cutting up your bananas, thinly as you can. They don't need long, out of the freezer, and they already start to melt. It's amazing, they're already defrosting. All right, so bananas cut up, very, very good. Over there. Into it, and teach the kids to do this. Imagine if you're teaching the kids to make their own nice cream. It is just such a cool thing to do, because you know, when they're hands-on, I'm looking for paper towels. Sorry guys, I need paper towels. You know, when the kids are hands-on with their food, rather than you just putting it in front of them, I just find that they respond so much more positively to trying something a little bit different, or trying something that they maybe turn their nose up normally. Because it's literally just bananas. I don't know many kids that turn their nose up to bananas. So put the bananas back in, we go. But this time, I'm actually just going to make it a little bit more smoother. And what I'm going to add to that is just a touch, and I mean a touch, of coconut milk. I'm literally adding like half a tablespoon of coconut milk. That's all I need to add to it, just to bring it that little bit of creaminess. I'll scrape down the sides again just to make it lovely and smooth. Put that in there. that little touch of coconut milk transforms this yet again. So you get an even smoother, creamier nice cream. Just like that. I mean, look at that. Guys, look at that. It is so smooth and creamy. You would be mistaken for thinking that there's something else in it apart from bananas and half a tablespoon of coconut milk. But that's it, right? So you could do that. You could absolutely do that. But we're going to take it one step further. And what we're going to do with it, we're going to make it into chocolate. We're going to make a chocolate ice cream. Now, this one is fantastic because you are getting some really, really good polyphenols into your brain. So this is good brain food, would you believe? How good is it? Tablespoon of raw, and I'm using raw organic cacao powder. So not cocoa powder, we're using raw organic cacao powder. So that can go in there. And because this is definitely more of an adult version, I'm going to also throw in just a sprinkling of cacao nibs. So this is what raw cacao powder starts off as. It's cocoa nibs like that. So this is just pure cacao, which is beautiful. So just a couple of sprinkles. We've got texture now, right? Texture's good. I like texture. Like to have a bit of texture. All right, so just like that. Here we go. Let's make some chocolate ice cream. So the more cocoa you add, the darker you will obviously get your chocolate. But also remember this, I mean, you could add more cacao into that, but if you do add more cacao into that, it will also start to get a little bit bitter. So I would definitely suggest that you taste along the way to see what's happening in there. Oh, it tastes really good. It tastes really nice. I'm gonna add one more tablespoon of cacao. That actually tasted way better than I thought it was gonna taste. Not that I haven't tried this, guys. My bananas are obviously very sweet. If your bananas are not quite as sweet, you might find that putting in another tablespoon of cacao might actually blow your head off. So just, take your time with it, add a little bit, come back to it, see how you feel, go back and add some more if you think it could do with a little bit more chocolate. God, I love it. How good is this? Now you could add, and it would be amazing. Some of my vegan chocolate chips could go into there, or if you've got sugar-free chocolate chips, you just put that into there now, and you just have the best chocolate ice cream that you have made in a minute, which is fantastic. All right, so I'm going to use this bowl. I must say though, it's a bit of a sticky process. I'm finding that I'm having to wipe my hands quite a bit while I'm doing this. It's a bit of a sticky process, but yeah, I think that would be a very pretty bowl for our chocolate ice cream to go into. I love this so much. This is so seriously cool. Very, very cool. All right, so you can boil it if you want to, and if you want it just a little bit more firmer, you can put it into the freezer like this, but you don't need it in the freezer for very long. You could put it into the freezer for like 10, 20 minutes, and it'll obviously firm up quite a lot. But you can also make it in advance. Make it in advance, and then put it into like a long flat, longer rectangle sort of container, cover it with Glad wrap, and when you're ready to ball it up, you just leave it out of the freezer for about 10 minutes so it softens a little bit, and then you can actually physically ball it up, which would be just amazing. But then all we need to do, sprinkle some more of those cacao over there so we've got that wonderful texture. Let's get a little bit of the cacao powder. I know it's a tea strainer, but it also really works well as a to shake things, to make little things of cocoa powder or inulin. So we just put that over there like that. And then you have a wonderful chocolate ice cream ready to go. Cool, right? So cool. Okay, so that's 2 recipes. I said I've got a third one. I do. It's actually completely different from this one, but still very delightful, very awesome. And because, the thing about why I suggest for people who are on the 28-day meal plan or the stage 2 gut fast plan, why this one is not as ideal, these two, you want to save these for when you're not on the plan, is only because bananas have a lot of starch. So they're a high sugar fruit. So they're things that you eat every now and then. This is not an everyday food. You're like, yay, fruit, I'm going to eat it every single day. This is something that you have every now and then. So that's why I don't suggest for people who are on one of my plans that they have this particular recipe. You guys are going to have the next one that we're doing. So the next one that we're doing is going to be a sorbet. So it's literally going to be berries blended up till they're absolutely gorgeous. And the berries that I'm using today are my favorite berries. And they're in the freezer. And they are blueberries. So I'm starting off with frozen berries. And if you're asking me whether you can use fresh berries, yes you can, but then you've got to wait for it to freeze. So I bought some organic blueberries at the supermarket, and you want about a handful for one portion, yeah? About a handful. So blueberries go in. Back in the freezer, stay lovely and frozen. Actually, I'm going to put these in the freezer because they're starting to defrost. It's so hot here in Sydney. It's really, really buggy. Alright, you guys can stay in there. In your bowls even. Alright, so blueberries are in there. Let's put the lid on. Actually, I think this one fits too. Let's put the lid on, and we're just going to start to blend just like we did last time. Now, because our berries, you can see completely different consistency from when we blended the bananas. Because our berries aren't naturally smooth in texture like our bananas are, we're going to have to help this along the path a little bit. And the way that we actually do that is we use a little bit of syrup, and I'm using a fiber syrup today. And for anyone who's been joining us along our inulin saga, when it comes to fiber syrup, and the question was, have I tested it to see if there's any glucose present in the fiber syrup? And yes, I did test this before we started tonight. This is the Sirkin brand, and I did test this, and it tested for only trace elements of glucose. So it didn't stay completely blue, but it was definitely not going anywhere near the brown. It just had a slight green tinge to the outside of the blue. So this has got trace elements, and I expected that anyway because this is produced completely differently from inulin. So I did expect there to be some trace elements, but still absolutely fine to use for diabetics, type 1, type 2, for anyone on a sugar-free diet or on a low carbohydrate diet. This is perfectly good to use. So I am going to go through and test some other brands as well, just to see what readings we get. Or if you've got another brand of fiber syrup, please feel free to test it and let us know what your results are. That would be wonderful. So when it comes to the fiber syrup, remember it is a prebiotic syrup, so it's still good for our gut health, and once again good for type 1, type 2 diabetics. This is just that half a tablespoon goes into our blueberries. That's all you need, half a tablespoon. It's extremely low in calories too, by the way, so not as low as inulin, but still extremely low. So we put that in there. And already what you'll notice is we're getting a slightly different result. So it's starting to turn out more like a sorbet. So what the other thing I like to do here is I like to take fresh berries and just add in a few fresh berries because fresh berries are good. I'm adding blackberries. There's nothing stopping you from adding strawberries or blueberries or whatever you want to add into there. And then we put the lid back on. Look at the colour. Amazing. The colour just transformed. Isn't that fantastic? Oh, I love this. All right. Oh, I forgot to scrape down. In fact, I didn't find I had to scrape down nearly as much with the berries as opposed to the banana. And I have this wonderful sorbet now. Oh, that is so good. That is so tasty. But you know what? You can start to add flavors to it. So when it comes to any of the base, I basically showed you how to do a banana one and then make it into a chocolate. But you think about with bananas, they go with so many different flavors. You could add cherries, you could add blueberries, you could add cinnamon, you could even add ginger, finely grated ginger. You could add any type of citrus. This is for the banana. You could add vanilla flavors, or even walnuts go really well with banana. When it comes to your berry one, I'm going to be putting in just a little bit of fresh lime zest. Because limes, any type of citrus, lemon, limes, even oranges go really well with blueberry. And this is just going to give it like make it a little bit more. Oh, it smells like tequila. It reminds me of margaritas or tequila. That's what I'm thinking now. This is going to make it a little bit more grown up. So if you're making it for kids, you might want to leave out the lime zest, but they may not even be able to taste it. So you see what you think. I quite like the lime zest in there. It gives it another dimension, which is really nice. But instead of limes, once again, what flavors go with blueberry? Well, ginger. You could do finely grated ginger through there. You could also do vanilla, Nutmeg works really well. Fresh mint, a little bit of fresh mint chopped up and thrown through. Hazelnuts are a really good nice nut that goes with blueberries. And then you could also add cardamom. So lots of possibilities for you. But yes, you have to work fast because in this type of humid weather, it gets soft very, very quickly. So what you could do now is you could pop that into your freezer just to let it, refreeze because, before you actually eat. It's still very frozen, but it could probably do with just a little bit more freezing, but it's still coming out so nice. And if you're wanting a cold treat, this is just so fabulous. All right, so happy with all of this so far, but I'm gonna finish it off. You know what? The lime's just coming through so nicely on there. It's really popping through. And what I'm hoping from you guys is that you take the basis of what I've taught you and then you create your own flavor combinations and you share it with us. Please do. If you get underway with this little sorbet or ice cream making, let me know what flavors you come up with. Blueberries, I like blueberries. They're good for our brain. That's why I always like to start with blueberries as the fruit. But there's nothing stopping you from using mixed frozen fruit, or raspberries. Any type of berry works really well. I'm using these crisp things again, which is fruit crisps, and just sprinkling over this wonderful dehydrated strawberries, which is just so fantastic. So I'll have a couple of big chunks too, so it looks really good. Here we go. Oh, love it. Okay, so we've done our berry sorbet, looking absolutely fabulous. And we can run back to the freezer and grab these ones. We have our plain banana, and then I just added some coconut to it. That was just banana. And then, for all you chocoholics out there, there is your guilt-free chocolate ice cream. Fabulous. Isn't it good? I know. I'm pretty excited. I think you can probably guess why I'm a little bit excited, because we get to eat it now. And I have been looking forward to this all day, knowing that afterwards me and Mahi are going to get to have something to eat. Oh, we've got a question. Yes, Mahi.
Sharon Brass just asked, Sharon,
yeah,
could you also do it with frozen mango, cardamom and yogurt?
So Sharon just asked, could you do it with frozen mango, cardamom and yogurt? Yes, you can. Any fruit that's frozen can work like this. Obviously the banana is going to give you the creamiest end product. So it is because of the banana's natural, texture. But any fruit works just fine. Just be careful when you add yogurt, because it does turn into shards once it goes into the freezer. So I would only do the yogurt with or anytime I would use yogurt, and you know me, I'd only use coconut yogurt, not dairy, normal cow's yogurt. I would want to be eating that straight away, as opposed to freezing it, because it can get a little bit shardy. And the thing with when you're eating this is you want it to be very smooth on the palate when you munch into it. So yogurt, eat immediately. If you're freezing it down, I'd keep the yogurt out of it just to make sure it's lovely and smooth and the texture is really gorgeous. So there you go. 3 frozen treats. Very exciting. Cannot wait to see the combinations that you guys come up with. Please share with us because we all get so incredibly inspired by each other. So please share your treats with us all. Remember that you start with banana, or you start with berries, or you start with mango, whatever you do. But one thing about mango, I forgot to to point this out. When it comes to mango again, mango is not an everyday food. It's quite a high sugar fruit. So you want to have it every so often, like you have banana every so often. When I say every so often, I'm talking about once or twice a month. I know that may sound really harsh, but seriously, those fruits will spike your insulin levels. So they're just treat foods. Good for kids though. Good for kids as an alternative to normal sugary ice cream. But if you really want to make sure you're staying high fiber, low sugar, berries are the way to go. And can you add a little bit of coconut milk to your berries? Absolutely. Imagine a little bit, and then it starts to be more like ice cream as well. So I think I've got one more question.
Kat Mackie, could you add a small bit of avocado into that berries for creaminess?
Could you add a small amount of avocado? Yes, you could add a small amount of avocado into the berries. You could also add a small amount of avocado into the banana one as well. Composing textures, I know, but there's nothing stopping you. If you want to give it a little bit of healthy fats, a fat boost, you could absolutely add some ripe avocado in there as well. Any more questions, Mahi?
That's it.
That's it. All right, guys. Time to eat. will see you here soon. I'm releasing a recipe just for you tomorrow on Bridget's Healthy Kitchen. Thank you for joining me. Have a safe and wonderful rest of your Sunday. Bye.